Mark Rogers TV talking college football, talking Miami football. We can't do that without Cam Underwood, State of the U. Cam, how you doing today, man?
Good, beautiful Saturday afternoon. So always a great time to talk about the Miami Hurricanes.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon. Beautiful. I'm looking out both my windows at snow all over the place and a nice 68 inside, but about 16 outside. So you keep your beautiful and we'll get there someday. We'll be able to both say, "Hey, beautiful day," and that'll be just right for me. But
right.
That's going to be a few weeks.
Of living in South Florida.
So not only is the good weather there, but the good recruiting at this point. Some recent gets have really elevated the class to arguably top status for 2018.
Yeah, Miami is doing really, really well with recruiting right now. Consensus #1 class across all recruiting services. This is buoyed by Arthur Sitkowski and Brian Hightower, teammates at IMG Academy, even though Sitkowski is a New Jersey native and Hightower is an LA native. But those are the most two recent commits to the class. Both of those guys, high 4-star guys. And yeah, that's just the kind of talent that Miami has in this class. It's really a lot of 4-star and 5-star guys, over half of our group, which is what you want to be at. So quarterback Sitkowski is a 4-star. Running back Lorenzo Lingard, who just had a 10-7 in the 100 and 21-9 in the 200 in a track meet yesterday, I want to say. He's a 5-star guy. He's committed. Cameron Davis, great first name, by the way, from Carroll City, is a 4-star guy. DeCurtis Wiggins from Southridge High School is a 4-star recruit, wide receiver to go along with Brian Hightower, who's a 4-star. DeLon Scaife made it to the opening. He's a 3-star right now on the offensive line, but probably will be a 4-star. Nesta Silvera from American Heritage, similar 3-star, 4-star guy. But he's 6'2", 308, and really a nice technician and strong on the inside of the defensive line at tackle. Then you have Josh Jobe, who's a 4-star, 5-star kid. He's older, though. He's 19 already, so he's going to transfer to a school in Connecticut for his senior year because he would not have eligibility in the state of Florida. He's another 4-star. Gilbert Frierson, who is Frank Gore's cousin, I believe, who also goes to the same high school, Coral Gables High School, literally down the street from UM. He's a 4-star guy. DJ Ivy is a 3-star, but he should be a 4-star eventually. He's kind of an Artie Burns clone on height and speed and length, which is a good thing. Artie Burns, former Miami Hurricane, who was a #1 overall, or first-round draft, excuse me. Randy Russell from Carroll City, who's also Cameron Davis's teammate, 3-star guy, but he's very physical, in the box kind of safety. He will hit you and hit you hard. There's another couple of guys who are in this class, but they probably won't end up in this class because there's just so much talent around in South Florida, especially at the defensive back positions, which is where those guys are committed right now. But yeah, from top to bottom, you're looking at a class that has both numbers and talent at this early level, which is different than when Al Golden was the coach. We had 18 commits and only 2 4-stars, earlier, something like that. But this ratio is in a very, very good spot. So yeah, Miami is doing very well, getting guys in early. That's something Mark Richt wanted to do, and is a staple of his in recruiting from his time at Georgia and here at Miami, getting guys committed in the boat early. So hopefully we add another couple of guys. There's a rumor that Miami may or may not be getting a marquee player to commit sometime in the near future, as we're recording this on a Saturday, potentially on a Sunday, i.e. tomorrow. So that could happen. There's a lot of other guys who are very closely connected to and interested in the University of Miami right now. So things are going well and looking up, and hopefully we can continue this.
Cam, it's the same campus, the same education, same location, to a certain extent, the same football program in a sense. Nothing's been proven on the field that says, okay, it's going to be this much better. It's going to be Miami of 15 years ago. Do you think the recruiting success is simply Mark Richt, a combination of Mark Richt and the staff he's put together? That would seem to be the difference.
Yeah, the staff is doing a very good job, and also the team is developing on the field. We had more wins last year than we did the year before. That's 2016 as opposed to 2015. So that's an upward trajectory right there. Like I talked about previously, there's just an authenticity about this group of coaches. They don't have to say, well, this is what I plan to do because I'm a first-year coach and I don't have a record. You look at all of these guys, and they've done it. They've developed talent. They've won games. They have players who play really well. So it's kind of the two-sided thing. And then building these relationships early, that would be the third prong of this. Going out to youth parks where they play Optimus football. Mark Richt has done that over his 2 years. So he's getting connected with the middle school kids. So years in advance of them being recruits and just letting them know, hey, this is University of Miami. We're here in South Florida. You should stay home if this is what's in your heart and you should do this. So, these 2018 kids, in a similar way, when this staff got to campus, they started building the relationships for basically 3 years worth of recruiting. You had 16, which was Amon Richards' year of recruits. That would be Shaq Quarterman, Zach McLeod, Michael Pinckney. That first recruiting class, you got to hit those guys hard because the staff had a month and a half, 2 months to lock them down. So you start with 16, then you quickly get into the game with 17. Even though, like I said, top recruits, you're building a relationship with them for multiple years. So you only had 1 year for 17, really, a year and some change. But at the same time as you're getting in with 16 and 17, this staff started with the 2018 kids, this current cycle's students, recruits. So now you're seeing that there's a longevity in this relationship that's starting to pay off. And again, just with the coaches being authentic, not saying you're going to come in here and start, but you have the opportunity to start. If you are the best guy for the job, and if you look at Amon Richards coming in and starting day one, being a freshman All-American, first team, should have been a first team All-ACC. He came in and he did that job. He earned that spot. So, we played Brad Kaya from his first day, even though that was a previous staff. So, it's a different thing when you have that longevity of the relationship with the guys or the kids, that you're trying to bring in. So authenticity and, track record for the coaches, on-field performance, and then the ability just having, continuity in the staff to build a relationship over time. I think those are the three keys to the recruiting success right now.
It's the number one class with 11 months to go until National Signing Day 2018. Number one rated amongst most of the services, including 247 Sports. I've looked at the top 50 classes, Cam, and most of the classes are in the 5 to 7 hard commits. Miami, by far and away, at 13 hard commits, leads not just in the quality, but the quantity of the commits, and there has to be a combination there. 6 4-stars, 6 3-stars, and the 1 5-star at this point. So I'm going to temper it by saying that Kansas is currently in the top 10 as well, but they only have 4 commits. So they got a kid or two that are highly rated, and we would expect them to drop off. So you got to temper the enthusiasm, but still, at the same time, it's looking extremely good. You mentioned before we came on that the SB Nation Recruiting Pod is talking about an over-under for where this class is going to land at 8th in the country. So what are your thoughts about that? I'm sure you would take that.
Yeah, I'm going to go over, honestly. That was the SB Nation Recruiting Podcast, and my colleagues Bud Elliott and Richard Johnson. They went on and they were looking at the top 10 schools right now. So they in the rankings right now and seeing, over under for where they could end. So they did talk about Kansas, who one of their commits is on the same 7-on-7 team as Miami's quarterback commit, Sikowski. His name is Devontae Jason, a 4-star wide receiver. And they hooked up for a highlight reel touchdown at this 7-on-7 tournament in Las Vegas last weekend, where it's a one-handed catch on a beautiful throw from Sikowski to Devontae Jason. So that kid has some talent. But, yeah, overall, I don't know if Kansas is going to stay, top 10. The number I believe that Bud and Richard put out was top 35 for Kansas over the course of the cycle, which I believe is something that's possible for them. But yeah, spinning back to Miami, over under of top 8, I think that I'm going to take the over on that. This class is really stacked with high level talent at the positions of need for Miami, and a lot of those guys are interested in Miami. That would be wide receivers, that would be cornerbacks, and then you can beef up the lines and things like that. So skill positions is really, really where Miami is going to make their money. I think there are we're able to keep enough of the class who is currently committed and highly rated that, a top, over 8 would be a top 7 finish. And I think that, we have I'm not going to say that. We're going to say if Miami is able to progress again on the field and have a 10-win season, spin that forward again. So you're selling, both, again, on-field performance, coaching ability to develop players, and a relationship that's been built over time. Yeah, I think that, top 7 class, probably top 5 if we close with who we could potentially close with. And again, we could miss on some guys because there's other schools in America who are going to be recruiting down here in South Florida. That's something that everybody knows. Mark Richt has said that, there's 100 and something, 115, 120 FBS level recruits in South Florida in a given year. And, you're going to have 40 or 50 4-stars and 5-stars in just, Broward, Palm, and Dade counties. It's not about keeping everybody because you can only bring in 25 or a couple more recruits overall in a given year. It's about keeping the right ones. So I think that Miami has started on that path. So, yeah, I think a top 7 finish, hopefully, and this is the fan side of me looking at a top 5 or a top 3 finish. But, yeah, objectively, I really think that with the proper product on the field, another 9, 10, 11 win season, that Miami is going to have a top 5 class.
Things looking good at the U right now in regards to getting set up for 2018 and beyond. Cam Underwood, State of the U, breaking down the recruiting cycle for Miami going forward. Appreciate it, Cam.
No problem. Have a good one.